This is Off the Script number 20, part number 3 for your week ending July 6th, 2014. I have huge news on the Shield and a possible spoiler for the Royal Rumble in 2015. I got news on Charlotte Flair. I got news on the Ascension. What is Vince McMahon's plan going forward for both the Ascension and Charlotte Flair? All this plus much, much more on your final part for this weekend of Off the Script. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. This is WWE Off the Script, part number 3 for your week ending July 6th, 2014. Your number one source for all WWE right here on YouTube.com. If you guys missed parts 1 and 2, links are in the description. I got the biggest news stories in the WWE right now with my thoughts and opinions behind them. Go check that out. If you were too busy for your 4th of July weekend and you're taking your Sunday to just relax and chill and just sit down and try and recuperate from the long weekend, I got you covered. Off the Scripts parts 1 and 2 down in the description below. If you guys missed Chairshot Reality, WrestleZone.com and my boys over there, Eisenberg, LaBar, and Ghoulish, they got top stories of Jack Swagger as a babyface. Was it a smart move? That was yesterday's show. Bray Wyatt. Is Bray Wyatt the best feud right now for Chris Jericho? They talk about the Miz's future. What about AJ Lee and her return? They talk about who they think the top 5 superstars in the WWE are right now. And they talk about the reality of the entire Emma situation. Go and check that out. A big, big weekend over there at Chairshot Reality. WrestleZone.com. Links are down in the description below. Go and check that out. Don't miss those guys at all. Best wrestling talk show on the internet right now for wrestling today. Now, I got big news. I got big news. You're probably saying, JD, what the fuck is the news? Tell me about the Shield and the Royal Rumble. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what's going on. Well, this is pretty big news, and I'm reading this yesterday at the barbecue that I had with my friend, and I'm like, wow, this would be fucking epic and special. And there's one thing about the Royal Rumble, before I get into the news story. There's one thing about the Royal Rumble. In the past couple of years, there has not been one special moment in the Royal Rumble that we can just go back on and say, holy shit, that was fucking epic. I think the last time we had something epic happen in the Royal Rumble was when the last 2 guys in the ring were The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. And they went at it for an extra 15 minutes after everyone else was eliminated. I forgot what year it was. I think it was like 2007, 2008. I'm not sure. But those 2 were the 2 men left in the ring after everyone else, the 28 other guys that were there, were gone. And we got treated to an unbelievable closing with The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Can you imagine something like that happening again? Well, huge news on the Shield and the Royal Rumble in 2015. This is according to the Figure 4 newsletter, paid subscription. I reported that the WWE already has plans to bring the Shield back in late 2015 and possibly reunite them every couple of years for a few months like they do with D-Generation X, or like they did with D-Generation X. Now the word is, according to the Figure 4 newsletter, that the company has been planning a huge spot for the Royal Rumble in January for all former members of the Shield. The idea is to have a spot with all 3 former Shield members as the only wrestlers in the ring. It could be that they will be the final 3 wrestlers, or a case of the ring being cleared and all 3 members are left for a couple of minutes to fight each other. It would make sense, though, for them to be the final 3, since Roman Reigns is expected to win the Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania 31 to challenge for the WWE title against rumored opponent Brock Lesnar. Now, that would be unreal. Can you imagine the Royal Rumble? Which Royal Rumble hasn't had a big moment in years. Royal Rumble has been very watered down. There hasn't been guys in the Rumble where you can actually just bunch them together and have multiple winners. Like for example, this year you had nobody in the Royal Rumble as a top superstar that you could actually say, you know what, he might win it. You know what, he might win it. It was very, very one-dimensional. It was only Batista. And then you had Roman Reigns there at the end as well. But you knew Roman Reigns wasn't going to win the Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan was, obviously absent from the Royal Rumble. He wasn't in it. So the Royal Rumble this year was very, very predictable in a bad way. I don't mind predictable booking, but when it's predictable in a bad way, that's when we have problems. And Batista winning the Royal Rumble was a bad, predictable situation. Like I mentioned, The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels being the final two, going an extra 15 minutes to decide the winner of that year's Royal Rumble. This would be unreal if the Shield, all three guys, which are being, groomed as the future. They are the future. Can you imagine Reigns, Ambrose, and Rollins as the last three men in the Royal Rumble? And if you want Roman Reigns, if you're going to book Roman Reigns to eventually win the Royal Rumble, there is no better situation than that. None. Now, again, I always pose the question because, I'm concerned about Daniel Bryan when he comes back. Where does Daniel Bryan fit into all this? You want to make him look strong if he does come back for the Royal Rumble. Will Punk come back at the Royal Rumble? Who knows? Who knows? You could have many, many surprises in the Rumble. But if you're talking about an ending, this is amazing that the WWE is thinking ahead for the future of their programs with these guys, especially leading into WrestleMania. WrestleMania needs to be booked out and thought about in advance. How are you going to get there? You got to place some pieces in that puzzle right now, because January will be here before we even know it, okay? But I like that ending. Reigns, Rollins, and Ambrose as the final three men in the Royal Rumble to decide the winner. All members of the Shield, former members of the Shield, going at it to see who goes on to WrestleMania. Unreal, man. That's the big news this weekend. Let me know what you guys think about that scenario down in the comments below. Now, as far as Charlotte Flair and the Ascension, I love the Ascension, man. I can't wait to see them come up from NXT to the WWE main roster. It said that the NXT Women's Champion Charlotte and NXT Tag Team Champions, the Ascension, are now officially on the very short list to be called up to the WWE's main roster. Regarding the Ascension, it said that Vince McMahon is currently high on the idea of having a deep and sustainable tag team division. It's also said in the past, the idea of pushing tag teams has changed from week to week. Charlotte will have the Flair name behind her, but it said that the Diva pool right now is sink or swim, as made clear with Paige and Emma. Now, first of all, the Ascension, I have big things in mind for the Ascension. I have big ideas going forward with the Ascension. They're going to be amazing. They remind me of an old school tag team. They remind me, they have some kind of look to them that they remind me of the Legion of Doom. They got that demolition type, just physicality and Legion of Doom type physicality. Their entrance is amazing. They're just different than everything else we've seen as far as the tag team goes on WWE TV. As far as Vince McMahon's idea of wanting a deep tag team division, his idea and his vision of tag teams, I really don't trust what people say because he's so hot and cold with tag teams. He should really be on board with tag team wrestling because if you notice the tag team match that we seen at Money in the Bank with the Usos and the Wyatt family to open up the show, that is a great tag team match, man. People want to see tag team wrestling. It's exciting. Tag team wrestling was so big back in the day in old school WWE. I don't know why Vince ever deterred away from tag team wrestling. The late 80s, the early 90s had so many great tag teams. And it's just shitty that Vince McMahon went away from all the high praise and the fucking gloriness of the old school tag team division to pretty much having no tag teams whatsoever. It's to the point where the tag team titles are pretty much meaningless and have been meaningless for so long. And if he wants to bring up the Ascension, it would be in his best interest to build the tag team division around the Usos, the Wyatt family, the Ascension. You had Cody Rhodes and Goldust carry that division for quite some time. You're going to end up breaking them up. That's one other tag team gone. You got Ryback, which can be a dominant tag team if you book them correctly. The WWE really needs to start grooming these tag teams. Take some of the mid-card guys that you got in the back and start pairing them. That's why I said getting rid of Kurt Hawkins was stupid, because you got Kurt Hawkins who wants to work. He wants to be out there in front of a live audience. Same thing with Zack Ryder. Put them together. You know, put Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel together. Justin Gabriel is a talent, a great talent, just wasting away in the back. Do something with these guys. But, you know, Vince is, like I said, deterred away from that. And now with the Ascension being brought up, realistically, if you bring the Ascension up right now, who are they going to team with? There's only one face tag team that they can that they can feud with, and that's the Usos. And how long can that go on? How many matches, how many pay-per-views can they go on to, you know, carry that feud? You got to have other face tag teams, sustainable tag teams, to feud with a heel team like the Ascension. So I hope Vince is really, really on board with the tag team idea right now, because if you're going to bring the Ascension up, you need something in place for it to work. As far as Charlotte Flair, I think Charlotte is going to be great on the Divas roster. As far as the sink and swim mentality, WWE ruined Paige because they didn't have any idea what to do with her when they brought her up. Emma, I don't know the whole situation behind the Emma theft, but she is a decent talent. Utilize it. You know, do what you did in NXT on the main roster. I don't understand it. You know, the more you feature these people at live shows, at house shows, at SmackDown, at Raw, people will eventually be on board with what they do. And Paige, I think Paige is going to work better as a heel, more so than a face, with AJ Lee being back. Hopefully we do see those two feud in the coming weeks. So, sink or swim, listen, the WWE wants, or seems to want, the Divas division to fucking sink. Because right now, according to reports, Vince is high on the Bellas, and he's high on AJ. That's it. Everybody else is pretty much taking a back seat, and the Divas are really frustrated because they can't get in Vince McMahon's good graces, because Vince McMahon is very, he's got that tunnel vision. All he sees right now is AJ and the Bella Twins. That's it. You can't really do that. You gotta spread it around the roster. You can't really pick and choose your favorites and then leave everybody else out. It's not going to make for a good environment. It's not going to look good either. But I hope the Divas division, actually comes up and starts to flourish as well. That and the tag team division, I've been saying for months now, WWE really needs to work on. And Triple H has been, quoted saying he wants to work on the Divas division and the tag team division. Why haven't we seen the progress in place? I don't understand why. And it's all Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon really has to take a step back and think about what he's doing, especially with the tag team and the Divas division. So hopefully both divisions are going to be worked on, and we can start seeing some progress in both. What else do I got here? It will be interesting to see how WWE's change in pay-per-view business will affect how much money they're willing to spend on big returns such as The Rock. The Rock's been paid a percentage as opposed to a guarantee tied into pay-per-view revenue for his recent WrestleMania matches. The Rock previously mentioned in an interview that he would come back if the deal was similar to his others, but the WWE pay-per-view being so far down and the change in pay-per-view business, it may not be financially feasible for the WWE to bring back The Rock. Now, I really don't care about The Rock, to be quite honest with you. His last two matches, or his last two returns to the WWE, have been very lackluster, in my opinion. It's not the same when The Rock comes back. You know he's not really there for the love of the business anymore. He's just pretty much there since his schedule's cleared up. I got time to do WrestleMania. I'll do that this year. Just pay me and I'll be there. You can tell that his work with the whole Punk angle and his second go-around with John Cena really wasn't what it should have been. So The Rock not coming back is not going to harm me, man. It's not going to upset me in any way. But I know the WWE wants to stack WrestleMania. The Rock is obviously that name that will generate business, of course. But if he doesn't show up, it's not going to upset me in any way, shape, or form. It should be noted that this news was reported by a source before AJ returned to the WWE to win the Divas title from Paige, and before Emma was arrested, released, and then rehired by the company. It's been reported that Vince McMahon was down on Paige. According to a source, Vince specifically doesn't like Paige's promo style and has pulled a number of her pre-taped promos that were scheduled to air. Triple H reportedly has a favorable opinion of Paige, but his interest has cooled down recently. Regarding Rosa Mendez, who will be on the next season of Total Divas, it said that a push for her is not out of the question, in the next few months. She will be given extra live event booking so officials can get a better idea and look at her before a possible push on TV. A source said that there has been more doom and gloom in regards to Emma. Sources claim she's rarely discussed in future, and her future seems very questionable at best. This came from a source before the entire arrest debacle that has played out over the past week. There is no telling what her WWE future holds now. In general, it's said that the Divas are having a hard time impressing Vince McMahon because he compares them all to AJ, Nikki Bella, and Brie Bella, like I just mentioned. Those three are Vince's personal favorites in the Divas division and on screen and in real life. As a result, it's harder for the other Divas to stand out. I gave you my opinion on that. Not really the best business mentality for Vince McMahon to have. Yes, you can have your personal favorites, but when it's blatantly obvious to the point where it's leaking or seeping into the rest of the Divas division and the Divas locker room to the point where they're having a tough time getting over, they don't know what to do to impress the boss. It's not good for the environment of the locker room. It's not good for the entire division. So Vince really needs to sit down and understand what he has on the roster right now besides AJ, besides Brie, and besides Nikki. You can't really do that. You got some quality women back there that want to wrestle. You got quality women out there in the locker room that could give you quality matches on television and bring back some respect to the division. I really don't like hearing things like that, but that's Vince McMahon for you, and I really think Vince needs to understand what he is doing and what he has on the roster before he goes out and picks favorites and, kind of just distances the rest of the Divas from his favorites. It's not really good for business. Paige, I didn't mind Paige's promo on Raw before AJ came out. I don't know what the problem is. Her promos in NXT really weren't, all that amazing, but it is what it is for Divas division, or NXT Divas division. It's nothing that's completely terrible to the point where Vince has to cut her off TV. Maybe if we heard her a little bit more on TV, people would actually associate with her character. That's what I don't understand. Give her a microphone, I don't understand who's coaching these people. The producers in the back must not be doing their job. Give her a microphone, let her do it out there on her own. If she fucks up, teach her and guide her. Make her better, Just don't say, you know what, I don't like what you're doing, so we're not going to give you a microphone, we're not going to put you on TV. It's fucked up. And Triple H, like I said, wants to build the Divas division. He's favorable of Paige. His interest has cooled down recently, but like I said in the past weeks, they haven't given her anything to work with. If you're not going to give Paige anything to work with, why is anyone going to care about her, especially the officials in the back? It's their own fault. It's their own fault because the Divas division is so bad right now. But it is what it is. That's the report going around with AJ Lee's return and winning the Divas Championship. Before WWE returned to TV this past Monday, made it clear that she was not pregnant. People within the WWE were dismissing the rumors that she was expecting. As one source put it, CM Punk and AJ are two of the most aloof, distant, and loner people you could have around. And the idea of them going around telling random people about a pregnancy is very hard to believe. As you can imagine, after she returned to win back the Divas title, AJ remains in great standing with Vince McMahon. Vince is high up on AJ and is said to be still friendly with CM Punk. Word is that Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are also fine with AJ but want to move on from the entire Punk situation. Cesaro appears to be the favorite to win the vacant WWE Intercontinental title in the Battle Royal at this month's Battleground pay-per-view. It's said that Cesaro, Bray Wyatt, and Roman Reigns are still three people that the WWE officials have earmarked for top spots in the company by WrestleMania 31. Cesaro's recent losses are not meant to move him down the ladder, so Cesaro is the favorite to win the IC title in the Battle Royal at Battleground. And finally, guys, the Monday Night War series could end up airing on Tuesday nights on the WWE Network once the first season of Total Divas is over. Regarding actual episodes of Raw and WCW Nitro from that era being added, they are expected to be put up a few months after, roughly around the time the first 6-month subscription cycle ends. So look forward to that on the WWE Network. That is all for WWE Off The Script this weekend, guys. Episode 20, this is part number 3. Let me know what you think down below of the top stories in this part this weekend. Let me know what you think down below of that Shield story. That's going to be a big thing, man. If that actually comes true, I would love to see that happen. I think that's a very, very ideal way to book the Royal Rumble, and that would be amazing to see on pay-per-view for sure. But let me know what you guys think about that. I'm out. I'll be back on Monday Night Raw for the review. I do start my new temporary job on Tuesday, so I might get the review out either on Tuesday night, or if I have time, I'll get it out immediately following Monday Night Raw. But it is what it is, guys. I'll fill you in on a commentary about what I'm doing now as far as work goes since I quit my job. But you will be in the know. And as always, guys, thank you for joining me off the script. Hope you had a great weekend. Let me know what you think down in the comments below of all the top stories this week. Your #1 source for WWE content right here on YouTube.com. I'm out. I'll see you after Raw. Take care. And I'll talk to you guys later.